Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of the Lenovo S850. This is a mid-tier Android smartphone running on version 4.4, so it's obviously not the latest or greatest phone on the market, but it still remains a fairly competitive option for folks looking for a budget-oriented phone that has pretty good specs as far as hardware is concerned and good value. Otherwise, Lenovo has been making the headlines lately for a slew of pretty innovative Android devices, from more prototype based flexible phones to Motorola branded phones, which Motorola is now owned by Lenovo. So lately, we're going to check out a few more of their products and of course come out with a full review of the S850 in the coming days. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Just for right now, we're going to take a look at the packaging and what's included in the box here. So the S850 comes in 3 color iterations. We have a cobalt blue version for review purposes, also comes in white as well as a pink version. The box here has a pretty generic overall presentation. The back features some basic info about the unit. Otherwise, inside here we have access just to the phone presented right on top. Specifications include a MediaTek quad-core processor, so not blazing fast, but comparable to the Snapdragon 400 chipset found on many other mid-tier to low-end phones on the market today. Also comes with 1 GB of DDR3 RAM, 16 GB of built-in flash storage, which unfortunately isn't expandable because it doesn't have a removable back cover. It's actually coated in a layer of glass both on the front as well as on the back. So that creates the illusion of a slightly more high-end phone. We'll discuss the design later on in this first look. There's also access to a pen for you to remove the SIM card tray. It supports 2 micro SIM cards. It's unlocked quad-band GSM world phone. Inside you have access to a warranty and a user manual, something we haven't seen in a long time from a smartphone, but a nice inclusion nonetheless. And here you have quite a few accessories, a nice thing to see from a smartphone that sells on Amazon for about 150 bucks. So a nice amount of included peripherals for free or tossed in. There's a micro USB cable which has been branded by Lenovo. Has a decent length. You can use this to charge and to sync information. There's also a wall plug or a wall charger. Has kind of this interesting dimpled effect to it. USB tip on the other side with the Lenovo branding. And finally, there is also a Lenovo branded 3.5mm headphone jack with a built-in stereo microphone for answering calls as well as rejecting calls, playing pause your music, which is a nice little extra. Don't tend to see a lot of those headphones anymore with low-end, mid-end smartphones. So over here we have the phone itself. Again, it has a 5-inch display, which is, I think, kind of the perfect screen size still. I still think that 5.5 inches and above or phablets are a little bit unwieldy, especially for a consistent or a road warrior or a traveler. I find that taking something too large with you isn't the most convenient thing in the world, and 5 inches seems to be just right. This one has a 720p HD resolution, so not quite 1080p or Quad HD, but for the price, it really does the job, and it has very good viewing angles. And otherwise, you have access just to 3 capacitive controls down below, 5.0 megapixel front-facing camera with autofocus on the front, Lenovo logo as well, and measures in about 8.6 millimeters thin, so a relatively slim portfolio as well. The bezels here are made out of plastic, however, and not metal, but overall a pretty clean presentation. There's access to a speaker on the sides, which is pretty smart. It prevents you from muffling the unit when you set it onto a desk surface. It's also not on the front, however. There's access to a SIM card tray on the sides there. The other side features access to a power on-off switch, pretty tactile, responsive, and easy to press. There's also dedicated volume controls. Top features access to a micro SD USB port for charging and syncing. Takes about 2 hours to completely charge. There's also a 3.5mm headphone port. The very back, again, is made out of Corning Gorilla Glass 3, just like the front. Perhaps a bit reminiscent of the earlier iPhone 4 and 4S, but it has a 13.0 megapixel autofocus camera produced by Sony with an LED flash, so a decent camera on board as well. The most interesting thing about the S850 is that the Lenovo logo on the back, which is shiny and reflective, is also backlit. So it's kind of like a MacBook. After you turn it on, it turns on and illuminates when the phone is in use, which is kind of nifty. It's not anything overly functional, but it does act as a notification light. So when you're getting a call or you're getting a text message, it can flash and strobe so that when you have the phone face down, you can discreetly know when you have a new notification coming in. Again, that unibody one-piece design is also quite compelling and beautiful to look at. So overall, a pretty beautiful phone as far as mid-tier Android devices are concerned. Certainly feels and looks high-end. So kind of taking off the tape here, tells us a bit of information about the micro SIM card support, and there's also that info about the serial number for the unit. The front also features a screen protector. We're going to remove that as well. And we are left with just the device, again coated with Gorilla Glass 3. Powering things on, I'm going to take a quick look at how things run and operate. Should be decently smooth, but not the fastest experience in the world, but should be fine for most day-to-day tasks. And it seems like there is indeed a bit of power upon a first boot up as well. Display seems quite sharp for 720p. Viewing angles seem rather impressive as well. So I think we have to slide up to unlock, and there is a proprietary Lenovo operating UI skin on top of Android, so that is what makes this kind of look like iOS. It doesn't seem to be a universal app store down below, so that seems to be a common thread with a lot of these Chinese-based OEMs lately, but we'll certainly explore these things and come back later with a more in-depth review, but for now this has just been a quick unboxing and video first look and impressions of the Lenovo S850. Thanks for watching this video here at OS.